When an airplane crashes, one small device can become one of the most important pieces of evidence left behind. It's called the black box. But there's a surprising problem with that name. Modern flight recorders are usually bright orange or yellow, not black, because investigators need to find them quickly after an accident. And black box actually refers to two different recording systems. The Flight Data Recorder, or FDR, records information about what the aircraft was doing, things like altitude, airspeed, heading, aircraft attitude, and many other parameters. The Cockpit Voice Recorder, or CVR, records sounds and communications from inside the cockpit. Together, these systems can help investigators reconstruct what happened during the final stages of a flight. But here's the incredible part. These recorders are deliberately designed to survive accidents that can destroy most of the aircraft. So what exactly is inside this small orange box? And how can its delicate electronics survive a catastrophic crash? Inside the aircraft, the black box is continuously collecting information while the flight is underway. The Flight Data Recorder can monitor dozens, hundreds, or in some systems, more than 1,000 different flight characteristics. That can include altitude, airspeed, heading, aircraft attitude, engine information, flight control positions, and even the status of systems such as autopilot or warning systems. The Cockpit Voice Recorder captures a different kind of evidence. It records communications between the flight crew and air traffic control, conversations in the cockpit, and important sounds such as engine noises, alarms, and other cockpit warnings. And the recording doesn't simply continue forever. Flight recorders use a rolling recording system, meaning that once the available recording period is reached, older information can be overwritten by newer information. So investigators can recover the most recent portion of the flight. This creates a powerful combination. One recorder tells investigators what the aircraft was doing. The other can reveal what was being heard and said inside the cockpit. But recording the information is only half the challenge. The bigger question is, how do you protect that information when the aircraft itself is being destroyed? Imagine an airplane hitting the ground at enormous speed. The aircraft structure can break apart, electronics can be crushed, and temperatures can become extreme. Yet the flight recorder is specifically engineered to give its stored information a chance to survive. The secret is the Crash Survivable Memory Unit. The actual memory is protected inside a heavily engineered enclosure designed to withstand severe impact, fire, and water pressure. The recorder is also installed in one of the most crash-survivable areas of the aircraft, commonly toward the rear, and the numbers are extraordinary. NTSB specifications list an impact tolerance of about 3,400 G for 6.5 milliseconds and fire resistance of around 1,100 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes. The recorder is also designed to withstand extreme water pressure. So the goal isn't to make the entire aircraft survive. It's much more focused than that. Engineers are protecting the tiny piece of technology containing the information. Even if the aircraft around it is destroyed, the memory may still survive. But what happens if the airplane crashes into the ocean and the recorder disappears beneath the water? After an aircraft crashes into the ocean, finding the wreckage is only the beginning. The flight recorder could be underwater, hidden among debris and difficult to locate. That's why flight recorders can be equipped with an underwater locator beacon. It's often called a pinger. When the recorder is immersed in water, the beacon activates and produces an acoustic signal that specialized search equipment can detect. According to the NTSB, these beacons operate at 37.5 kHz and can transmit from depths of up to about 14,000 feet. Search teams can use specialized receivers to listen for the signal and narrow down the recorder's location. Once the recorder is recovered, investigators don't simply plug it into an ordinary computer. It is transported to a specialized laboratory, where engineers carefully examine the recorder and extract the stored information. The data can then be turned into understandable information, and in the case of flight data, even computer animations showing how the aircraft moved. But there's still one final question. How does all this information actually help investigators discover what happened? A black box doesn't magically tell investigators why an airplane crashed. Instead, it provides pieces of a much larger puzzle. Investigators can use flight data recorder information to reconstruct the aircraft's altitude, speed, heading, attitude, engine-related data, and other conditions leading up to an accident. The cockpit voice recorder can provide another perspective: what the crew heard, what they said, radio communications, and important cockpit sounds. Investigators then combine this information with radar data, air traffic control recordings, weather information, maintenance records, wreckage evidence, and other evidence from the accident site. Together, these sources can reveal a detailed sequence of events. And that's why the black box is so important. Its purpose isn't simply to explain one crash. The ultimate goal of an accident investigation is to determine what happened and identify ways to prevent similar accidents in the future. And aviation regulations are continuing to evolve. In February 2026, the FAA finalized a rule requiring 25-hour cockpit voice recorders for newly manufactured aircraft covered by the rule. That means future investigators may have access to much more cockpit audio than older systems provided. So the black box isn't really a box of mystery. It's a carefully engineered survival system for information. The airplane may be destroyed, but if that information survives, it can help make the next flight safer.